All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we are officially live. All right, perfect. How's it going, everyone? I hope you had a beautiful Monday. And now we're headed towards the end of Monday, and there is a lot to go through. All right, real quick, guys, let me check that everything is working out perfectly. We're still working out the kinks out here, making sure everything works, everything is up to par. You know how we do. All right. Doesn't look like we're live on the tubes. We're live on, okay, there we are. Check the stream. How we doing here on the tubes real quick? Everything Gucci? What the hell? We're live on, okay, there we are. Check the, apologize for that. Okay, hold on. My thumbnail did not work. What happened? What happened? How did my thumbnail not work? Okay. All right. Do apologize for that, my peeps. I'm still working out the kinks of this live situation. But let's perfect. Perfecto. Perfecto Mondo. All right, perfect. Thumbnails up. That's all I wanted. Make sure everything looking Gucci, everything looking perfect. Nah, I mean, everything good. Can't complain. Let's go ahead and close some of these tabs over here. All right, guys. Welcome back to the Angry Rican Show. The wonderful show that we just kind of go live whenever the hell we want. Now, real quick, guys, if you decide that you like my content or you want to hear my opinion and stuff, feel free to do this right here, right? Feel free. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and subscribe, like the channel. And if you want to be kept up to date as to when I'm going to go live, then obviously hit that notification bell. Otherwise, I will be coming up with a stream schedule. I just haven't figured out exactly when I want to go live. And the reason for that is because I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know when I'm going to go live because I got to get motivated. And the only way that I'm going to get motivated, if you wonderful people out there in the internets decide that you want to hook your boy up and subscribe. Yes, the more subscribers that I have, the more reason I have to go online and go live. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Kind of how that works. Anywho, I really don't have much planned for today. Kind of just want to do it a cappella because there is a lot to go over, because every single day something is happening with our wonderful President Donald J. Trump. Now, I didn't want to always be talking about Donald Trump, but unfortunately, he leaves me no choice. That mofo is working so much that it is almost impossible to keep up with him. I mean, every single day, something is happening. He's putting in work. He's putting Joe Biden to shame. It's a damn shame that Donald Trump had to come into office for us to remember what an actual president looks like. Because when Joe Biden was president, shit, you know what I'm saying? When he was president, we barely ever heard from him. So it's kind of nice that we finally have it's kind of nice that we finally have a president that's actually putting in work every day, not taking vacations. Last I recall, Joe Biden damn near spent more than half the time on vacation, and we all know that's a no bueno. That is an absolute no bueno. But first things first, let's get to talking about tariffs. So, interesting thing that happened with the tariffs. So, a lot of people were scared. And of course, the news media, as usual, likes to scare everybody about everything that Donald Trump does. And at this point, it's getting kind of hilarious. It's getting kind of funny. Because they told us that if Donald Trump put tariffs on Canada and Mexico, we were going to suffer. Oh, Lord Jeezy. We were going to pay at the grocery store. Chuck Schumer said, oh, my God. You're going to pay more for your avocados. You're going to pay more for your Corona. They said, oh, when you buy a car, it's going to cost so much more because all the car parts are manufactured in Mexico. Oh, they scared us. My poor woman was telling me, baby, groceries are going to be so much more expensive. I said, baby girl, stop listening to the fake news. Calm down. Trump got this. He knows what he is doing. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame that every time this man does something, the media straight up jumps into it and puts a negative spin on it. And just before they can type the stories down, before the whole memo goes around, the talking points go around between newspapers and editors and your news channels, just as they're typing out their negative story. Oh, Mexico said they're going to retaliate with a 25% tariff of their own. Oh, Canada's going to retaliate with a 25% tariff of their own. And right when they're going to go hit send, they bend the knee. The president of Mexico bend the knee so damn fast. I'm surprised her knees didn't break. It's so amazing. They said the same thing about the Colombia. Remember that? And he bent the knee. They're all bending the knee. Every single one of them is bending the knee. It's a beautiful time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful time to be alive. They are all bending the knee. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that the orange man was going to come in and get shit done? Amazing. Amazing. But I've always said it. I've always known he was going to get shit done because that is what Donald Trump does. He gets things done. With that said, if you guys are jumping in, if you guys are watching this, and if you're watching this after the fact, thank you for joining the Angry Rican Show. Your boy's planning to do this more often, make it a daily show, but we got to take baby steps around here. Anywho, as you guys know, Mr. Justin Trudeau also bent the knee. Mr. Trudeau went out there, Mr. Blackface, Fidel Castro, illegitimate son, allegedly. Allegedly. He got up there and did a little conference. Oui, mon chéri. We're going to take back tariffs. We're going to make the United States pay 25% tariffs on 100 and God knows what $1 billion worth of imports. Oh, I'm sorry, exports. Oh, what happened, Justin? You spoke too soon? You thought Donald Trump was going to bend the knee? Oh, stop it. Donald Trump is not bending the knee for nobody. You guys said it. He's narcissistical, selfish, whatever you want to call him. You really think he was going to bend the knee? Of course not. So let's see. Let's see what Mr. Justin Trudeau. Let's see what the hell he was talking about, huh? Let's see, Mr. Trudeau. All right, this coming from Donald J. Trump. Canada has agreed to ensure we have a secure northern border and to finally end the deadly scourge of drugs like fentanyl that have been pouring into our country, killing hundreds of thousands of Americans while destroying their families and communities all across our country. Canada will implement their $1.3 billion border plan, and as per Prime Minister Trudeau, will be reinforcing the border with new choppers, technology, and personnel, enhance coordination with our American partners, and increase resources to stop the flow of fentanyl. Nearly 10,000 frontline personnel are and will be working on protecting the border. In addition, Canada is making new commitments to appoint a fentanyl czar. We will list cartels as terrorists, ensure 24/7 eyes on the border, launch a Canada-US joint strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering. I have also signed a new intelligence directive on organized crime and fentanyl, and we will be backing it with $200 million. What happened, guys? Ah, what happened with the avocados? What happened with the 25% tariff you were going to put on us, Mr. Trudeau? First of all, you ain't even going to be prime minister here shortly, so I don't know why you thought it was a good idea to try to look for some smoke with the Don. The Don don't play. And I believe a lot of these world leaders are starting to realize that the Don don't play. And just in case you thought that maybe that was just Donald Trump talking some caca, you know what I'm saying? This is Justin Trudeau's saying the same thing. And of course, the proposed tariffs and every tariff will be paused for 30 days while they make additional negotiations. Because daddy's home. Big Daddy Trump is home, ladies and gentlemen. I've never seen so much faffo, so much faffo going on in our political atmosphere. I know damn well Biden wasn't doing none of this stuff. Ain't nobody felt like they were fatfoing around. You know? I'm gonna be careful with the swearing. I'm gonna try to keep it light. I'm gonna try to keep the swearing light for the algorithm. You know what I mean? So I'll just say faffo. Faffo. Sounds so good, right? Every single one of them. So this is what's happening. So obviously Canada is providing 10 troops. Well, they didn't say soldiers, but 10,000. And then same thing in the Mexican border. Claudia decided she's going to put 10,000 soldiers as well over at the border. And I just want to make sure that the audio is sounding good real quick. Hold on, I do apologize, my people. Perfecto. Perfecto. So, yep, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000 soldiers. And on top of that, she arrested one of the top cartels. One of the leading cartels, they arrested already. Trying to see if I can find it here, but I can't find it. No, I don't have a whole bunch of things automatically, put up. And the reason for that is because I want to save some of my computer resources. You start to have 500 different tabs open. Computer can lag a little bit, especially since I'm multi-streaming here on the YouTubes and on Rumble. So if you see me on Rumble, listen, guys, over on Rumble, man, you guys, I don't know what's going on over there. Supposedly that's the place for like politics and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and hit a follow or like or whatever the hell it is to do over there in that side of the world. But things are happening at a rather fast pace. It is a blitz. Also, our boy, Secretary, what the hell fuck's his name? Hexeth. That's a weird name. Hexeth is at the border. Letting the cartels know what time it is. You feel me?
To the cartels, all options are on the table. We will secure our border and our men and women guarding it, and we're proud to be here.
That's right. That's right. Our boy Hex is out there putting in work, making America great again. Looks like Joe Biden signed with Hollywood's talent agency, CAA, the agency that also represents Barack Obama. How about that, Mr. Biden? Anywho, in other news, so we got that out the way. So I was going to talk about tariffs and what it meant for us, but we don't have to do that anymore because Daddy Trump took care of the tariffs. So those people of you that were incredulous, oh my God, the tariffs, oh, we're going to pay so much more. Oh, Trump is destroying the economy. Shut up. Didn't happen. It's called the art of the deal. And maybe, just maybe, you guys should pick up the book. Pick up the book, The Art of the Deal. I've read it. Good reading. I read it back in 2016, because I've been a Trumper since day one. Make no mistakes. I never had a doubt. I was kind of there with Ann Coulter. Remember when they asked, was it Ann Coulter and the Bill Maher? Whatever that HBO guy. And she said, from the declared people is Donald Trump. Yeah, that was me. Oh yeah, I got laughed at, I got ridiculed, all that. But guess what? I was right. I was right because I'm always right. Actually, no, I'm kidding. I'm not always right. So, in other news, apparently the organization, the USAID, I thought it was USAID, they shut them bad boys down. They shut it down. Done. They're crying. Elon Musk shut it down. Well, that's the reason why they did the Doge. And I don't understand how anybody can be against Doge. Seriously. How can you be against government waste? They're taking your tax dollars and they're spending it all over the world to do God knows what. They don't tell you about it. When Congress tries to get information from them, like, hey, what are you doing with that money? They basically tell them it's none of your damn business. We do what we want to do. Well, you're a government agency, therefore you don't just get to do whatever you want to do. So it appears that they have been spending money on a whole bunch of shits that we don't need. Basically, just taking our tax dollars and just wasting it, just giving it for dumbass programs all over the world that nobody even knows about. So here is our wonderful Carolyn Levitt, just giving you a little snippets of some of the wasteful things that organization was spending our hard-earned money on.
To the cartels.
Oh, wrong one.
All options are on the table.
Oh, shut up, Pete. My bad. Why is Pete still talking?
You're watching live coverage.
Through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you, guys.
Viewers and the public audience, but it was important to the folks in the media to understand why, say, Hennepin County, which is...
All right, I don't know what that's all about, but you saw that? A transgender comic book? Seriously? That's what we're doing here? That's what we're spending our hard-earned tax dollars on? A comic book for another country? A transgendered comic book? So not only are we brainwashing our kids here with the whole, transformer stuff, we want to go ahead and take it to the world. Let's make everybody gay. That's going to work out just fine for the human species. But that's the topic for another day. I don't think I want to get into that whole transformer stuff. At least not today. All right. We also found, it looks like we found 300,000 missing children. Okay, we're finding them. Let me see. Yeah, let's take a look at what Miss let's stay with the theme. Let's stay with the theme here.
Again, I think nothing can compare to the pain and the suffering that has been inflicted upon the American people because of the illegal immigration and drug crisis we've faced, especially over the past 4 years. But when it comes to reducing inflation, this administration remains wholeheartedly committed to bringing down costs while President Trump effectively utilizes tariffs. You saw President Trump already launch a massive deregulatory agenda, slashing 10 regulations for every new one on the book. He signed that executive order last week. He's also launched a massive energy push, and Trump energy boom is incoming, which we know will reduce the cost of living in this country as well. And so we are all hands on deck here at the White House and across the government to ensure that we're cutting costs for Americans where we can, while the president simultaneously effectively utilizes tariffs as he did in his first term. And look no further than his first term record as president. When he left office, inflation was 1.4%. The only reason we had an inflationary crisis was because of the previous administration, Joe Biden's reckless spending. And you're not seeing that from this administration. Look at Doge and the cost that they're already saving for the American taxpayer.
Yeah.
Doge, baby. Doge. What a name, what a name, what a name. Doge. Trump is making it happen, folks. Trump is making it happen. And everybody said he was going to destroy the world. Apparently not. Apparently not. So, anybody on chat? Nobody on chat? Anybody on chat? Oh, yeah, nobody on chat. People on chat? Anybody on chat? Anybody on chat? What's up? What's up? Y'all want to say something? Oh, by the way, if you want to talk to me, you got to subscribe. That's how I roll. That's how I roll. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk to me? You got to subscribe. It is what it is. And the reason I did that was because Why did I do that? Somebody started spamming and stuff like that when I left it wide open. So I got to reduce the risk of people just spamming stuff. You know what I'm saying? And don't mind me if you see a little watermark here and there. You know, your boy runs this production on a low budget, no budget. There's a whole lot of free stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? So you might see a watermark here and there. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. You know? If I can get some viewers, some subscribers, maybe I just might make a couple dollars. But you know how it is. This hustle is not easy. Anybody out there? Anybody out there? Nobody? Anybody want to talk to me? No? Hey, hello, let me see. Hello, does anybody want to talk? Does anyone want to talk? No, I'm not gonna write that. I'm just gonna say, come on guys, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Feel free, that's it. Welcome to the stream, bro. Let me see that work. Did that work? That's everywhere? Did it go everywhere? That went to the tubes. Randomly. How about that? Okay. Anywho, let's get back to our programming. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, what do we got now? Let's take a look here at where by the way, our future president of the United States is J.D. Vance. He has my vote. I'm going to campaign for him. I don't know how just yet, but I'm going to campaign for him 100%. He's young. Hell, I think I might be older than J.D. Vance. That's a damn shame. I ain't done shit with my life. But let's take a look at Mr. JD, see what he has to say about these tariffs and all that wonderful stuff.
Americans better off. Now, the president has also been very clear that we have to rebalance our trade relationship in this country. Every single country, if you look even at our northern neighbors, Canada, do Americans realize that the Canadians charge massive, massive tariffs on our products that go into the country of Canada, including on our great agricultural products that people right here in the state of Ohio depend on? Well, if the Canadians are going to use their economic power to penalize Americans, I think it's totally reasonable for the American president to say, we're done being taken advantage of. We, of course, want to have a great relationship with Canada, but that goes both directions. And that's all his conduct and his activity of the last few days was about. We're done being taken advantage of in this country. We have got to rebalance the trade relationship between ourselves and our allies, ourselves and our adversaries. President Trump is committed to that, and tariffs is one tool that he's going to use to make Americans better off. Now, the president has also been...
All right, that's it. That's right. That's right. People got to understand. Tariffs, it's a tool. A lot of countries all over the globe charge us tariffs because that's how they're able to make a little extra chunk of change. You know what I mean? But for some reason, we're here in the United States, we think we got it like that. And we just, no tariffs. Come on and bring in whatever you want. And that's why we're broke, man. I mean, we've seen the deficit. I don't think that's ever going to get paid off, by the way. Impossible. How many? 30, 40 something trillion dollars? That's never going to happen. But if we continue to do our costs, cutting on all of these useless programs and stuff like that, and if Doge keeps doing what Doge is doing, we might be able to maybe at least stop the bleeding a little bit. And instead of adding to the deficit, maybe we can start reducing it a little bit. And maybe we can take that money and use it for the American people. That sounds like a wonderful plan. Hopefully that'll happen. But then again, who never knows? They might save a whole bunch of money and just use it for other shit that got nothing to do with us. So what else we have going on? What else do we have going on? Okay, now we are still waiting on Kash Patel. Hopefully he'll get pulled through. This is interesting. See what the hell Mr. President has to say about Canada becoming the 51st. Jesus Christ.
Look, what I'd like to see, Canada become our 51st state. We give them protection, military protection. We don't need them to build our cars. I'd rather see Detroit or South Carolina or any one of our Tennessee, any one of our states build the cars. They could do it very easily. We don't need them for the cars. We don't need them for lumber. We don't need them for anything. We don't need them for energy. We have more energy than they do. We don't need them for energy. So
that's right.
Why are we doing this? Why are we willing to lose between $100 billion and $200 billion a year? We don't need them. As a state, it's different. Look,
see what I'm saying?
I'd like to see Canada become our 51st state.
Yes. Actually, you know what, Mr. President, with all due respect, and by the way, guys, thank you for joining. I don't want to see Canada become the 51st state because Canada is like another California. Republicans will probably never win if Canada becomes the 51st state. Those guys are a little too liberal for my liking. So let's not do that. Maybe we can make them a territory. Just like, I'm Puerto Rican. I don't know if you guys noticed by the name, the Angry Rican. Love my country over there in Puerto Rico. But I don't want them to become a state either. Because unfortunately, my people are a little, how do I say, politically, they're a bunch of morons. I think that's the nicer word to use. Love my people, but they're stupid as hell when it comes to politics. I mean, shit, they voted for Kamala like by a lot. I mean, she had that. I don't even think Trump even got close to winning Puerto Rico, and that's a damn shame. And I don't think that. Oh man, y'all just gonna leave like that? Just gonna leave that quick? I don't think that joke helped, but I don't think it was, the Tony Hinchcliffe joke. I don't think that was that helpful, because my people be a little soft sometimes, get offended a little bit too fast when it comes to that kind of stuff. We like to joke around a lot, but when the jokes come our way, we get a little defensive. Oh, man, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just here talking shit, having a good time. Feel free to put a comment. All right. What else do we have going on? Oh, how about that? President Donald Trump signs the executive order creating America's first sovereign wealth fund. I never heard of that.
This is an executive order.
That's this is new to me. This
charges your Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, and your Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, to begin a process that will hopefully result in the creation of an American sovereign wealth fund.
It's a very exciting event. We're going to have a sovereign wealth fund, which we've never had. We have a lot of things that create wealth, and you're seeing that over the last 2 weeks. I think we've created more wealth. Other people have created de-wealth, the people, my predecessors. We're creating a lot of wealth. Scott, maybe you'd like to say something about it, and I'd ask also Howard to say something about it.
Yes, sir. This is very exciting. We're going to stand this thing up within the next 12 months. We're going to monetize the asset side of the U.S. balance sheet for the American people. We're going to put the assets to work, and I think it's going to be very exciting. We're going to study best practices as done around the world. It'll be a combination of liquid assets that we have in this country as we work to bring them out for the American people.
The extraordinary size and scale of the
we'll talk about Greenland here in a second. Hold on,
Prospero. With companies should create
Prospero,
value
that sounds
for
Spanish.
American citizens. If we are going to buy 2 billion COVID vaccines, maybe we should have some warrants and some equity in these companies and have that grow for the help of the American people. So I bring all these things together. I think Scott and I will create an amazing sovereign wealth fund for you, sir.
So other countries have sovereign wealth funds, and they're much smaller countries, and they're not the United States. We have tremendous potential in this country, tremendous. You're seeing that, what's happened just in a short period of time. And as an example, TikTok, we're going to be doing something perhaps with TikTok, and perhaps not. If we make the right deal, we'll do it, otherwise we won't. But I have the right to do that, and we might put that in the sovereign wealth fund, whatever we make, or if we do a partnership with very wealthy people, a lot of options, but we could put that as an example in the fund, and we have a lot of other things that we could put in the fund. And I think in a short period of time, we'd have one of the biggest funds, and some of them are pretty large, I must tell you. Some of like the Saudi Arabia fund is on the large side, but eventually we'll catch it. But we're going to create a lot of wealth for the fund, and I think it's about time that this country had a sovereign wealth fund, and these two gentlemen and some others are going to work with them very closely, and they'll be heading it up, and they're going to do a great job. Two highly respected people that have done unbelievably well in the world, in the real world. So
Interesting. So I've never actually heard of that. A sovereign wealth fund. That is brand new to me. Now, Prospero, to tell you about Greenland real quick. We're gonna take it. We're gonna take Greenland. We're gonna take Panama. Now, well, right now, the Panama's president decided that they were gonna cancel the contracts with the Chinese, so the Chinese are not gonna be controlling the Panama Canal anymore. As far as Greenland is concerned, from my understanding and what I've read so far, Trump wants to buy it, so he doesn't just want to take it. He's not going to conquer it or anything like that, or invade it and take it by force. He's not going to do that. However, they're also considering some type of referendum, and the country itself can decide if they want to separate themselves from Finland. So as of right now, Trump wants it, and what Daddy Trump wants, Daddy Trump is going to get. How he's going to acquire it, it's still up in the air. But most likely, if I were a guessing man, I think the people of Greenland would get together, do some type of referendum, and then, get away. I think it's Finland that controls them, and get away from that and become their own country. It's possible that they might become a territory of the United States, kind of like Puerto Rico is, and a few other countries. But that remains to be seen. They're definitely not going to be a state. But having Greenland is a good thing for us to have because they're in a strategic area, and considering the ice is melting, because apparently, global change might be a thing. I don't know. It's a good route, especially for for cargoes and stuff like that. And I know the Russians are up there doing their thing up in the North Pole and all that, and up in the Arctic. So I think strategically, militarily, it would be to our benefit for us to control Greenland, even though we already do have military bases in Greenland, and I know that because my pops was stationed up there. But I think overall, it'll be a good thing. Now, it would suck if it ended up being like a place where we have to constantly be spending money on. So instead of bringing us money, we end up spending money. But from my understanding, there's a lot of minerals and all kinds of assets over there that they're not being produced right now. So coal, I think there's gold and all other precious metals and that kind of stuff are on that island that nobody's mining. And so the island, has potential to bring in a lot of wealth. And considering Trump is doing the sovereign wealth fund, that might be something that we can throw into the basket, and hopefully that money gets used for the American people. Maybe we can be like Dubai and we're driving around with Ferraris and shit around here, man. Maybe when you call a taxi, it's a Ferrari taxi. I don't think that'll ever happen in our lifetime, but you can always dream. All right, thank you guys for coming into the chat. Appreciate you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I'm just out here spitballing, doing our thing. In case you weren't listening, Donald Trump just came up with a sovereign wealth tax, and I don't know about you guys, man, and maybe you guys can let me know how you feel about it. But is it just me, or is Trump is doing just too much? Is it too much, or just enough? Because I feel like it's only been like 2 weeks, man. It's only been like 2 weeks, and I'm having a hard time keeping up with it. Every single time I get on the news, it's just one thing after another, just making America great again. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing. I'm excited. I like it. I hope it all works out. But damn, I'm having a hard time keeping up. Just when you want to make a video or you want to talk about something, breaking news. Something happened. Trump did it again. I'm not tired of winning. I like winning. But let's keep it going. All right. Wealth tax. Interesting. Never heard of it. Has anybody in the chat, have you guys ever heard of a sovereign wealth fund? And maybe you can chime in and let me know a little bit more about it, because I really don't know what it is or how it works. I guess he was talking about putting TikTok into the wealth fund, but something about the government running social media. Oh, I mean, a little wishy-washy on that one, because right now we're in control, but the pendulum always swings. So sometimes we have to be careful. The government has to be careful of what they're doing, because we're not always going to be in power. You know, we saw that with Biden. He got into office and he did all kinds of dumb shit. So now we have to fix it. But unfortunately, Trump only has 4 years. So I think we got to be careful on how we do things, because in 4 years, a Democrat can jump in and, turn us all gay. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how that works. Let me see. All right, Mr. Prospero, what are you saying? I don't think it's about minerals, but about controlling the northern sea route, placing missiles there, and considering that the planet is warming up and California is burning. Maybe in 30 years, it will be the only place with a normal climate. You know what? You might be right. You might be right, man. You might be absolutely right. I don't know anything about global warming. I'm old enough to remember that when I was a kid, they were worried about the ice age. That was the big thing. That was on the news and stuff. Oh my God, we're going to have an ice age. Then that turned into global warming, and now it's climate change. I will say this when it comes to that topic. The ice caps are melting. That's an undeniable fact. It's definitely melting. We're not going under the water anytime soon, though. I think it's going to take some time. But definitely, I think something is happening. And I'm also like, even on that topic, right? I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because I feel like when it comes to like the energy stuff, right? I know that Trump wants to drill, baby, drill, baby, drill, but I'm not like one of those guys that just, yay, whatever Trump does, woohoo, woohoo, yeah, that's great. Because I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like the oil is there for a reason. I feel like it might not be a good idea to drain the earth of oil. I'm not a scientist, but it's there for a reason. Maybe the oil is what keeps the earth spinning in the wobble that it does. Maybe it helps the earth stay cool. Kind of like oil in a car. If you run a motor without oil, it's gonna heat up and explode. So I'm not a scientist, but if you ask me, I think that we should definitely look for other sources of energy, whether it be, electric panels or whatever everywhere. I don't know about the whole wind, the wind stuff, but definitely, and nuclear, I guess nuclear is clean, but, Chernobyl, the shit, something happens to it, we're all get nuclear radiation and stuff like that. So I don't know what the solution is to our energy, but I just feel like it sounds good. The whole drill, baby, drill, open up the entire planet for us to drill, and let's get that black gold from underneath the earth. Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds really good. But Mother Nature might not really agree with that. We might start seeing all kinds of sinkholes, and God, who knows? I mean, do we really know? You know what I'm saying? Do we really know the effects of emptying it out? Because at some point we're gonna run out of it. It's not like oil just creates itself, and it takes thousands and thousands of years for it to happen, anyways. So at some point we're gonna run out of it. Is it possible that maybe now? I'll say this, right? I have an interesting theory when it comes to that too, and I don't think I can prove it because I'm not a scientist, but maybe someone can, I don't know, figure out a way to do this experiment. So Earth weighs something, right? 10 trillion tons, who knows, right? It has a tonnage. It weighs something. And the sun has a gravitational pull on the Earth, right? And it's just, if the Earth was heavier, maybe it would drift further apart from the sun. But the lighter that the Earth becomes, the closer it's getting to the sun. Right? Because supposedly, when it comes to gravity, an object tends to pull towards the largest object. That's basic science. So us and the sun, we're doing a little tug of war with the sun, and this is just kind of how it is. But are we making the Earth lighter by burning all the fossil fuel? Trillions upon trillions of pounds, or trillions of pounds are just being sucked out of Earth. Same thing, we're taking a lot of metals every time we go to space with space stations and rockets and all that space debris that we have up there. All that stuff weighs something. So essentially what I'm saying is we are making the planet lighter. So by making the planet lighter, is that causing the sun to have a stronger gravitational pull, thus making us closer to the sun, causing global warming? Now, that's just a theory of mine. I can't prove it. I'm not a scientist, but I'm just saying, if I was going to look at it just slightly logical, kind of makes sense, right? You're making the Earth lighter by removing all the oil out of it, all the metal that we're spending, doing satellites and ships and rockets and stuff like that. All that stuff is going into space. It's never going to come back. So all that stuff weighs something. So you're making the Earth lighter. So that's just my theory on that. If anybody in chat knows anything more about science and you think that might be a problem, but definitely the ice caps are definitely melting. That is for sure. I'm pretty sure I'll be dead by the time any of this stuff even matters. And I'm 45, so I'm like halfway dead already. So it's not going to affect me, but it sounds good. The whole drill, let's make America rich. But environmentally, I don't think that's a great thing. You know what I mean? Let me see what else we got going on. So let's see what Donald Trump has to say about that
The first term, though,
USAID.
USAID was something that you liked in some respects.
I love the concept of it.
That's the program.
Sure, I love the concept, but they turn out to be radical left lunatics. And the concept of it is good, but it's all about the people.
Mr. President. The first term, though, USAID was something that you liked in some respects.
I love.
All right, so he liked it. I guess the concept of it worked, but right now there's just a waste. It's a slush fund for the CIA and God knows what. I don't know much about it, but how about this lady right here, man? You guys like this lady right here? Maybe you do, maybe you don't.
It is really, really a sad day in America. We are witnessing a constitutional crisis. We talked about Trump wanting to be a dictator on day one, and here we are. This is what the beginning of dictatorship looks like. When you gut the Constitution and you install yourself as the sole power, that is how dictators are made. It is really, really a sad.
You know, these Democrats, right? Especially Mrs. Elon Omar, brother lover. You guys know she married her brother. Interesting stuff with her. Trump is not a dictator. They need to stop that. He's not going to be a dictator. If he wanted to be a dictator, he would have done it on his first term. And you saw how easily it was for the Democrats to block him at every corner. It's how easy it is for them to try to put him in jail. Like it's the president has a lot of power, but they're not almighty. There's always a way for somebody to block him, especially if there's enough people in Congress or in the Senate that disagree with him. That just, they'll just block him. So I always find that interesting how they come up with these weird, he's going to be a dictator on day one. Stop it. Stop it. Anybody else in there? All right, let's see what else we got going on. Oh, okay. Let me see what Mr. Trump had to say about the Presidente of Mexico.
We had a great talk with Mexico, and we had President Sheinbaum is a woman. I like her very much, and we've had good relationships, but we have to stop fentanyl from coming in, whether I like somebody or not, and we have to stop the illegal aliens from coming in. I think we've lost 200,000 people on average a year for many years, much higher than the 100,000. Could be even closer to 300,000. And they've agreed to put in 10,000 soldiers permanently, like forever, 10,000 soldiers at their side of the border and stop fentanyl and illegal aliens from coming into our country. They have a big incentive to do. We had a great talk with Mexico.
All right, let me see what you're saying over here, Prospero. Dangerous for us, but rather artificial intelligence. After all, now the technology race is leading to the creation of a more advanced military technology of artificial intelligence, and we are completely dependent on electronics, and all of it can be taken under control by an electronic mind created in China. You know what? You're right. Man, Prospero, yo, good looking out, man. You give me some good stuff to talk about here. Yes, AI is extremely scary. I love AI. I use it to make thumbnails because I am not a very creative, artistic guy. I like that AI can do a lot of things for you, but I would say definitely AI it scares the hell out of me. It really does, especially when you start getting into the rabbit hole, you start looking at all the new robots. Kai Cenat just had a robot, and the robot tried to run away from him because he was bullying him. Y'all seen that? Maybe I'll look it up real quick. It's almost like the robot became self-aware there for a second. It's like, hold on, these guys are bullying me. I'm out. I've seen all the other like the robots that China has. They have one that's like a dog. Almost like, I don't know, it's weird. It can climb and they got wheels. It does all kinds of funky stuff. I've seen the drone shows that they do, how they're able to manipulate and put everything together. AI is a very, very, very scary thing. I've seen a lot of the videos of all the drones, how they use them in warfare in Ukraine, how they're just blowing up enemies with the drones, shooting them, and every time you hear that, thing buzzing around. Shit, I got a drone myself. I'm about to hook that up with with a gun too. No, just kidding. But yeah, no, it's AI is definitely scary. Definitely a scary thing. It reminds me of obviously Terminator. I'm an 80s baby, so I never thought that I would see the day where we would actually have like a Terminator. I thought it was just a movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. But the longer I live, it's like technology is getting so advanced, man, that I'm seeing it all. Like the Terminator was just a movie for me, but now it's like this shit is there. Like they have it. Elon Musk has a whole factory full of humanoid robots doing all kinds of things. And he even got it to the point where the fingers are damn near just as flexible as the human fingers. For whatever reason, fingers are hard to draw as well as they're hard to create. Especially for like robotics and stuff like that. But the Tesla robot, that fucking thing is like really, really advanced. And it scares the shit out of me, bro, if I'm honest. It really does. Because right now we control it. Right now we control AI, but who's to say that if it becomes sentient, it can easily take a look at all the archives and they can see that humans, in the words of Agent Smith from The Matrix, we're a virus. We're a virus to the earth. And unfortunately, that is the truth of the matter. Humans have a bad habit of consuming and consuming and consuming and consuming and consuming. I mean, all you have to do is look at the rainforest over in the Amazon. Every year, acres and acres just keep disappearing. And that's even scary too, because that's where we get most of our oxygen from. And we're just chopping it down. Let's just chopping down wood. And then you have obviously those fires in California just burning acres and acres of oxygen producing trees. And I know it's only going to get worse, but definitely AI is one of those things, man, where it's a double-edged sword. It's very effective when you're in control of it. But the moment it becomes sentient and it realizes that humans are a bunch of degenerates that just like to take and consume and kill and we're very self-destructive. Because who said that it was a good idea to build an atomic bomb? Like, why would anybody want to build that damn thing in the first place? You know how fucking stupid that is? Hey, hey, I got an idea for a weapon. Let's build a weapon that can destroy the entire Earth. And while we're at it, let's make thousands of them. Like, you know how fucking stupid that was? And somebody greenlighted it too. They said, "Oh yeah, go ahead and make a nuclear weapon. Why not? The enemies will be scared of us. No one's ever gonna be able to recreate it." No, everybody got it. China got them. North Korea got them. Israel got them. We got them. Russia has them. Who knows how many other countries have them? And then, back then it used to be a big bomb. Now, you could have a little nuke in a briefcase. It'll take down a whole city. Like, it's ridiculous. Humans are very self-destructive. I don't know why would anybody greenlight that kind of stuff. Somebody should have told Einstein, "Hey, buddy, stick to the theory of relativity and let's don't focus on nuclear weapons that's going to destroy the Earth." Like, it's fucking stupid. We start whooping superpowers' ass, and they don't want to lose. They press the button. All of a sudden, we see nukes coming our way, and we press the button. And then some other country says, "Well, fuck it, they're pressing the button. We're in the crosshair. Let's press our button." Next thing you know, we're all fucking gone. Because humans are fucking stupid like that. Truth be told, we're highly intelligent beings, but we're also very stupid when it comes to that kind of stuff. And basically, we're self-destructing. The beautiful thing, though, guys, we're all gonna be dead before a lot of this stuff happens, anyways. But then again, I don't know about AI, because AI can be sentient tomorrow, and that's a little freaky right there. But yeah, man, that's good topic there. Appreciate it. How many people we got in here? All right, guys. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. You guys have any questions, anything you wish me to talk about and give you my 2 cents on it? I'm not an expert in anything, but I'm old enough where I know a little bit about a lot of things. And that's what happens when you get these gray. You see all these white hairs right here? That tells you I got a little bit of wisdom. Seen some stuff, been through some stuff. I got some stuff to say. So if you guys have any questions, anything you want to ask me, I'll charm in and give you my 2 cents. If I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, I will let you know, because that's just how I roll. What else we got going on over here? Sovereign wealth. That's interesting stuff right there. Well, he did. President Trump. What he's doing? Trump is set to sign an executive order to pull the U.S. out of the UN Human Rights Council. And this freaking guy is doing all kinds of stuff. All right, you know what? All right, so I think we beat that horse a little bit. I want to talk about immigration a little bit. Maybe that's a good topic. And I think that, considering that I'm Hispanic, who better to talk about it than me, right? Since the consensus, or at least what people think, for some weird reason, people think that the only people that are getting deported are Hispanics. Like, I don't know where they get that from. What do they think that only Mexicans are getting deported? Everybody's getting deported. I've seen a whole bunch of Jamaicans getting deported. As a matter of fact, down here in Florida, they grabbed a whole bunch of Chinese folks. They're getting deported, but China doesn't want them back. So they might end up in Guantanamo Bay, which kind of sucks for them. Let me see. Let me read a little bit of this chat here. And why is Elon making plans to develop Mars? Because putting a residential container on Mars costs thousands of times more than on Earth, and this makes 1,000 times less sense unless you sell them to select few at the moment when this planet is doomed. But the only thing that threatens it is man himself. You know, that's interesting right there, man. You know, Elon did get very excited when he got extremely excited when Trump mentioned that we were going to put a man in Mars. I almost feel like we've been there, done that. I almost feel like we were in Mars. I don't know. It's a weird feeling. Maybe Mars was populated at one point, and now we're here. It would be. I mean, it would be interesting. It would be interesting to send people to Mars. You know, it's possible that maybe we can create a civilization underneath Mars. But it almost reminds me of that that movie, Don't Look Up. I remember Don't Look Up. How they built a spaceship to go to a different planet, and then when they got to that planet, there was some animals there, and they all get basically killed. I mean, let's be honest, right? The sun doesn't last forever. I know we think it does, but it doesn't. All the sun is a star. And we know that stars blow up all the time. It just happens. So at some point, the sun is probably not going to burn anymore. Again, we're all probably going to die when that happens. But it would make sense if you're a multi-billionaire. It probably would make sense to look for other alternatives to Earth. Because Earth is going to, either we're going to destroy it ourselves to the point where it's not livable, or it's possible that maybe the sun goes supernova and blows up like a whole bunch of other suns in the galaxy. So it would make sense for us to find an alternative to Earth that we can probably get to. Mars, but then again, no. So if the sun blows up, there goes the entire solar system. Mars is gone too. So I don't know, man. It's interesting. I know that the Meta guy, what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg. I know that he built a big ass bunker compound over there in Hawaii. So maybe he knows something that we don't know. But I'm pretty sure if any of that kind of stuff is going to happen, we're all going to die before that stuff happens anyways. Let me see. Maybe if we have any more chats. Yeah, so the planet might be doomed, prospero. But we might all die, buddy. We might all go bye-byes. We might all go kaputs. So immigration. Interesting about immigration is that Democrats.
So I think we got
to. Democrats used to think like Trump did back in the days. I'll show you. Now I'm sure maybe if you guys are hip to the political world, you've seen this before, but maybe not. But just in case, let me show you. 2008.
So I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. And you have to try to learn English. And you have to wait in line.
Oh, you bigot. How dare you, Miss Clinton? How dare you say that we have to learn how to speak English? How dare you? Now, when it comes to the immigration here, so I agree with everything for the most part. I do agree for everything for the most part, but I did see something the other day that I thought was a little, I'm going to say unfair. So there was a guy, and I wish I had the video for it, but there was a guy who came here when he was a little kid. I think it was in preschool. So his parents obviously were illegal. They came here, they brought him. He went to preschool, obviously, because in this country, if you're illegal and your kids are illegal, who cares? Kids still got to go to school, so we're going to educate them no matter what. And he's now 25 years old. He had a job. He was working somewhere. He has a kid and all that. He has a family of his own. And now he's getting deported. And it's one of those things where, like, I get it. I understand that, people should come here legally. I understand that if you're committed crimes and you're a criminal, then you should definitely 100% get deported. But if your parents are illegal and they brought you here when you were a little kid and you've been here your entire life, you don't even remember what Tijuana looks like. For all we know, you don't even have family anymore over there. How do we justify deporting somebody who probably doesn't even speak Spanish that good, if at all? Because that particular kid, he was 25 years old and he spoke perfect English. He spoke way better English than I did. So how do you deport somebody like that? You're going to deport him to a country that he's never been to just because his parents decided to bring him over here and they didn't bother to do any paperwork to try to make him legal? Which begs the question, how could you be here since 4 years old or whatever and be 25 years old and not be legal or have some type of legal status? So somebody dropped the ball in that situation. But at the same time, there's a lot of cases that are like that. People's been here for decades upon decades. They were little kids. Now they're adults. They barely even speak the language, if at all. And now you're going to deport them to a country they've never been to? And if they ever were there, they were babies. So I think that while I do agree with the whole immigration stuff, I think there has to be some, you got to take into account some cases. It can't just be a full blanket. Everybody got to go. But, the president is the boss. Coleman sucks, but not like Hillary. Yeah, Hillary's pretty bad. They call it Killary. And another thing with the immigration, though, right? So, you guys, we're having the protests are happening all over the country. Well, all over a lot of the blue states, California in particular. But it's one thing that I've noticed in all these protests. A lot of people say, oh, well, they got the right to protest. No, American citizens have the right to protest. These folks, unfortunately, are not American citizens. So technically, you don't have any rights at all. The fact that the United States gives them, that we give them rights, that's kudos to us for being a humane country. But theoretically speaking, you're not citizens. The Constitution doesn't apply to you. Constitution applies to us citizens. But we're good people. We're very good people. So we take care of them. We don't what you call it. We'll let you protest. We're not gonna beat you up and put you in jail. So here's one thing that I noticed about these protests that really pissed me off. And the fact that they were protesting didn't bother me as much. What bothered me is that you're protesting. Let me see here. Oh, that's the guy that got run over. What bothers me is the following. I'll get to it in a second. I just want to see the footage over here. This is what bothers me right here. I'll show you. This is what bothers me right here. And you're thinking, Angry Rican, you're mad because they're blocking the highway. You know what? Yeah, but that's not that serious. Okay, whatever. They're blocking the highway. What bothers me is that they're all waving the fucking Mexican flag. What the fuck, man? You're protesting that we want to deport you back to Mexico. You don't want to be in Mexico because Mexico sucks ass, right? But yeah, you up in here with protesting with your fucking flag? You want to come to our country. You want us to accept you. And you're going to protest and you're going to wave your flag, the flag of the country that you don't want to be in. What the fuck? Make it make sense, Sway. How does that make any sense? And it's not just Mexico. Look, there's another guy right here. Boom. I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know what flag that is. I don't know what flag that is, but I know this is Mexico. Like, oh wow, we got a couple American flags. There's one American flag there. But these are all a bunch of foreign flags. Mexico. Woohoo! Órale, güey, no mames. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody dancing, having a fucking blast. Waving the Mexican flag. The country that you don't want to be in. You ungrateful sons of bitches. You morazocas. How, Sway? How are you going to be protesting with the Mexican flag or the flag of your country? If you love your country so much, bye. Bye, Felicia. And you don't even got to pay for a plane ticket. We're providing flights every day. Every day we're providing flights. So you can bye-bye. Hey, let me tell you something. It's better if you self-deport, especially back to Mexico, because you can put your belongings in a truck. Get your mattresses, get your sofas, get your TVs. Go on right down the border. Go over there and go live with abuela. And you can take all your shit with you, because if the immigration people get you, you're going to leave with whatever you got on. But it's disrespectful. I think this picture right here, this picture right there, disrespectful. If anything, if you wanted to appease us Americans, like if you wanted me to have your back, then you should have been out there protesting with you, and you should have been making the American flag. You should have been waving the American flag. That's what you should have been doing. But then on top of that, bro, it gets even worse. It gets even worse. Let me find it. So not only, I mean, Jesus Christ, they're all waving Mexican flags, bro. Chinga tu maga. So now you're going to insult us too. Mexico, I don't know what country that is. Now look, we got an American flag at least, some more Mexican flags. She said, and then she said, puede, no se puede. And on top of that, you're talking Spanish. She said, puede. You're in America, bitch. Learn how to speak English. I speak Spanish. I speak fluent Spanish. But I'm a citizen. And I'm Puerto Rican. I'm not Mexican. So, but if I were Mexican and I didn't want to get deported, I wouldn't be doing this that I'm going to show you. Now, this is like I said, we have freedom of speech, us. And doing this type of activity, while I don't like it, it's considered freedom of speech. But you, my friends, you guys are not citizens. So you don't get the same right that we get. So when you do this type of shit right here, I'm going to consider you a foreign invader. Check this shit out, man. That's a goddamn shame. That is a goddamn shame. You do not want to get deported to your country because obviously Mexico must not be that good. Honduras must not be that good. Salvador is actually pretty good now because Bacal don't fuck around. If you got a tattoo and you look like you're in a gang, he's putting you in prison for a long time. But you come here illegally. Nobody invited you, even though Biden let you in. But you were never invited. Are you modern day slaves? You're out there picking cotton and picking fruits and stuff like that? Okay, yeah, sure. Cheap labor. We can always get HB1 visas, and there's a whole bunch of other work visas that we can get to get those workers in here. But you came here illegally. And now you want to protest that you don't want to go back to the country of origin while waving your fucking flag around. And then on top of that, you're going to disrespect Old Glory? Motherfucker, hold on. Y'all, you going to disrespect Old Glory? And you want us to have sympathy for you? You bitch ass? I'll be goddamn. You disrespectful bastards. I'll tell you in Spanish. Mira, güey. Va a estar quemando la bandera de los Estados Unidos, mamabicho. Si no te gusta los Estados Unidos, váyase para el carajo. Salpícate para el carajo, cabrón. That's English translation. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Can't believe it. You know, I hear burning Old Glory. That shit pisses me off. And then, you know, I'll show you why it pisses me off. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I find it disrespectful. My daddy fought for this country. My father paid the ultimate price. My daddy passed away, a proud soldier of this here United States. At a moment's notice, he's willing to give up his life for Old Glory. And you bitch ass is gonna come here and burn the flag? I'll be goddamn. I'll be goddamn. Disrespectful. I'm on my little belly there, bro. I gotta hit the gym. Been slacking. But I'm telling you, way. No mama's way. Burning my damn flag. Punk. I got 2 flags. I got my American flag and I got the Puerto Rican flag. But that's what happens when you're a Puerto Rican. You're a citizen of the United States. So you're an American and you're Puerto Rican. But I'm not gonna burn either flag. Especially with my daddy. You know what I'm saying? Was a proud member of the here United States military. You gonna sit there and you gonna burn it? Burn the flag? Get the fuck out. They're talking about some type of bounty hunter program. Trying to round these motherfuckers up. Keep fucking around, man. I might be a little chunk of I might have a little bit of extra pounds in the belly, baby, but I can still get it. Don't make me have to go out there and hunt down Mexicans to send them back to the border. Word on the street is they're gonna give you $1,000 for each one that you send back. That's what I heard. I don't know. They're talking about it. You can look it up. They're considering bounty hunters to get them because there's too many illegals, not enough people to get them out of here. But you sons of bitches are gonna be out here burning the American flag. Then that means you really don't love this country. So if you're paying $1,000 a pop, don't be surprised if I don't start bounty hunting. Fuck YouTube. I'm gonna be the Rican bounty hunter. There's another thing here. And I'm not the only Hispanic, by the way, that feels this way. There's a couple guys here. Like this guy right here. He's not having it either.
This message goes to all you Latinos who were not born in the United States of America, talking shit to other Latinos who were born in the United States of America. You guys are talking shit to us because we stand with the mass deportations of these illegal immigrant criminals who are not only criminals in America, but also their own country. You can get upset with us all you fucking want. At the end of the day, none of you have to be there, nor do those individuals. I don't know who you guys think you are, but the fucking audacity to come to someone's country and demand that certain things not be done because you say so. This is exactly why I consider myself and will always call myself American. No soy Mexicano. I'm not Mexican. I'm Latino, but I'm an American Latino. And I find it a little bit funny that ironically you guys don't mention the fucking beef between each fucking nation and the way certain people think of each other from other countries. I like how you guys leave out that there's even Mexicans right now in Tijuana protesting against illegal immigration, saying we don't want them here either, America. You also got Mexicans not like Venezuelans. El Salvadorians do not like Hondurans. Cubans and Puerto Ricans. Call one of them the opposite and you'll see how quickly they'd get upset. Even though we may share the same color of skin, that don't make us all kin. We are all different and unique in our own way. But for some of you guys upset that American Latinos are supporting this mass deportation of these individuals, just remember, you don't have to be here. You can always go back to your country and try to turn it into the America you want it to be. Straight up, y'all can get the fuck out of here. This message goes...
Hey, hold on. Hold on. Sulhari Agurdo. I mean, Mexican way. I know I look a little Mexican, but Mexico no me condizó, way. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. That was your name? Sulaje Agurdo. Listen, let me tell you something. Don't be calling me no goddamn Mexican. Listen, I do look a little Mexican, but Mexico don't make them this tall. You know, it's very rare that you see a 6-foot Mexican. All right. Unfortunately, you know, they're usually, you know, chiquitito, okay, pequeñito. No joda, no mames, güey. I'll tell you like the Mexican. No mames, güey. Cojones que mexicano, no, how dare you? How dare you? Damn it. Don't be calling me no Mexican. I'm a Mexican, not a Mexicant. Not just kidding. You know what I thought was funny? Because I did have some tacos today. And Mexican food is really good. And to keep it 100, I do like Mexican people. Obviously, I like all my people, so all my Latinos are good. I have a lot of Mexican friends, but they're here legally. And then the ones that are not here legally, I be talking shit to them too. Sometimes I like to fuck with them and be like, La migra! They're coming to get you. Get your papers right, buddy. But it's just, you know what I'm saying? But it's still disrespectful. Yo ya veo para joder. ¿Cómo está descarada? O descarada. Su laje. I'm thinking you're a girl, ¿verdad? ¿Tú eres mujer? I think so. But no soy mexicano, no. Atrevido. O atrevida. How dare you? That's funny. That's funny. You know what's funny, right? Because I live in Florida, and I'm from Massachusetts originally. So in Massachusetts, we have a lot of Dominicans, a lot of Puerto Ricans, and now they're starting to get a lot of influx of Brazilians. But there's no Mexicans up north. Apparently, Mexicans don't like cold weather. So I hardly ever knew any Mexicans at all. Like, at all. And then I come to Florida, and there's nothing but Mexicans out here. Like, there's a shitload of Mexicans out here. And a lot of people think I'm Mexican. Or it is funny because even like, there's a lot of black folks out here too. And when you get to talking to white folks or black folks or whatever, the first thing that they want to say is, oh man, I love Mexican food. I love me some tacos. And I just got to look at them like, bitch, you know, I'm Puerto Rican. We like rice and beans. we do the tacos too, but not as good as you guys do. But for whatever reason, everybody assumes that because you speak Spanish, you're either Mexican or Cuban when you're out here in Florida. But Cubans and Puerto Ricans, we do look a lot alike. Okay, so sí, eres mujer. Okay. Boricua, okay, Boricua. All right. So, what does this guy got to say? They say make him go viral. What do you guys think? Déjame saber.
Imagine if I went to Africa and I wanted to live there, right? And all of a sudden, Africa wanted to deport me back to my homeland, the United States of America. And imagine if I went and I protested against Africa and I was lifting a United States of America flag in protest, saying I wanted to stay in Africa, but waving this flag from another country. How crazy would that look? How crazy would that be? That's exactly what's happening with people that are protesting right now in the United States. They're lifting up flags from different countries in protest of being deported back to those countries. Think about that. How wild is that? If you love that country so much, why don't you go back over there? But let's be really honest. Instead of you sitting there lifting up that flag from another country, why don't you lift up the flag from the United States of America and say, hey, I want to stay here. I love this country. I appreciate this country. It's a blessing to live here. I don't want to go back to any other country. And you wonder why patriots and United States citizens like myself are fed up seeing this stuff. Because you're ungrateful. You don't appreciate the blessing it is to live in the United States of America. If you did, you wouldn't lift a flag of a foreign country that didn't do nothing for you. Imagine if I went to...
That's right. You see what I'm talking about, guys? You see what I'm talking about? That ain't cool, bro. I get it. Hey, listen, I get it. I get it. America's the best. And it makes you wonder, right? The liberals, Democrats, they always want to try to make it seem like America is racist. America's an imperial place, a bunch of colonizers. But yeah, here we have millions upon millions of people wanting to come here. If we're so bad, If we're so bad, why do they want to come here? Because we're the best. That's right. Because we're the best. Best country in the world, man. It's a damn shame how much shit people talk about America. And all these people want to come here. But, I'm going to keep it real too. The problem with with you guys, with a lot of the Hispanics, right? Because when it comes to immigration, I think I can speak for a lot of us. We prefer that the people that come here are from South America and Mexico and stuff like that, because culturally, it's easier for you guys to assimilate to us, to our culture. It's a little different when you're from like the Middle East, from Iraq or Afghanistan or one of those countries, because your culture is not even close to ours. You know, Mexico, Peru, Guatemala, most people are Catholics over there. You know, women dress however they want to dress. There's you don't gotta. There's no like religious custom. You're not oppressed. You don't have to wear burqa and none of that kind of stuff. So you speak a different language, but other than that, we get along just fine. You know, y'all go dancing. Y'all like music. Y'all like to have fun. Like to drink. You know, I know Mexicans like the drink and the little, that kind of stuff. But it's easier for Latin Americans and even Brazilians to come to the United States and assimilate, because you got rap music, you got Spanish rap music. But it's different when you're an Afghani, you're an Iraqi, you're a Sunni Muslim or Shia Muslim. Your women got to wear burqas. Like you got to pray to Mecca every whatever how many hours. Like it's a different cultural shift. And then a lot of those people come here, and they don't want to assimilate. At least when the Latinos come here, they become Americans real damn quick, real fucking fast. You know, they may not learn English as fast as we would like them to, but Mexicans, Guatemalans, all those guys, Cubans, all of them, they become Americans real fucking quick. And it's easier for them because a lot of us speak the language. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of white folks that even speak Spanish. It's a lot easier to learn Spanish than it is to learn Arabic. So as far as immigration is concerned, if I had to pick what nationality I would like to come here, I would prefer that it be people from South America, because obviously we speak the same language. But it's different when, you're a hardcore Muslim, and then you don't want to assimilate. So that's what you got people like that Elon Omar that I showed you, always wearing a little turban or whatever. Like, you're in America, you don't got to dress like that. But those people, they live by their religion. So it's a little hard for them to assimilate. But it is what it is. I'm sure it'll slow down at some point. But right now, it no looking good. It no looking good. Well, I guess that's all really as far as the news and stuff like that, guys. I guess the next topic will be getting into the whole LGBTQ, transformer stuff. But that's gonna take a whole hour right there. I got a whole lot to say about that. But unfortunately, if you're gonna talk about that particular subject, you gotta tippy toe that mug right there. That's one of those topics where it's a little sensitive for the YouTubes. Not for the American government, though, you know what I'm saying? Because we're done with that DEI bullshit. We're done with that shit. We say whatever the hell we want now. But unfortunately, I don't think YouTube is quite there yet. I know Rumble is, so if anybody's watching me on Rumble, I know you guys are Gucci over there. But over here, not so much. Let me check here real quick before I call it quits. Isn't the land of the free? Shouldn't they be allowed to practice whatever they want as long as they aren't hurting anyone? You know what? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. It is the land of the free. For American citizens, that is. You know what I mean? You can worship whoever you want. You can do whatever you want. If you're American. If you're not American. Actually, I think we're having two different conversations here. So you said, isn't the land of the free, shouldn't they be allowed to practice whatever they want as long as they aren't hurting anyone? Absolutely, they can practice whatever the hell they want. But that's not what I was saying. I was talking about a simulation. It's easier for Catholics, especially, the vast majority of Latin America is Catholic. I don't even think there's even Muslims in South America. There's definitely Protestants, definitely Catholics, a lot of Pentecostals. You know what I'm saying? A lot. I think there might even be a lot of Jehovah's Witness and that kind of stuff. But I don't think there's any Muslims in Brazil. I don't think there's any Muslim in Panama. That's what I'm saying. So it's harder for them to assimilate to us, but they can worship whatever they want, especially if they're United States citizens. They can worship whatever you want. What I'm saying is, it's harder for people from those other countries to assimilate to our way of life than it is for people from South America. That's what I'm saying. Let me see. The Democrats simply got carried away with the liberal agenda, and there was a skew. This is a pendulum, and that will now swing back, and we'll see another round of fascism. I don't know about fascism, though. He killed all those people by firing everyone from the FAA. It had nothing to do with DEI and everything to do with staff shortages, which he made worse by firing. No, so that is fake news. That is fake news. He didn't fire FAA workers that worked the tower. He fired some of the people in the top brass. But those people are not anywhere near the towers. They're in an office somewhere. Yeah. He blamed DEI. You know what? Okay, you know what? Let's get into it. Fuck it. Let's get into it. So, at first glance, when I heard of the accident, and then I heard Trump's response to it, and he started blaming DEI for it, just like everybody else, I was like, hold on. How you know it was DEI? I mean, because it had just happened. But then again, he's the president of the United States, right? So I would assume that he's privy to information that you and I are not privy to. So he knows a lot more than we do. And Trump, unfortunately, I'll get to that. I don't think it was distractions to blame anyway. So where was I? So what it is with DEI is that it's having a negative effect. And what's the lies? You got to tell me what the lies are. Let me tell you. If you're going to disagree with me, you got to bring in the receipts. If you're going to say that he tells a lot of lies, I'm open to hear what those lies are. But you got to tell me what they are. You can't just tell me that's a lie. Just like you can't say, he hates black people. Okay, well, how? Why? I'm going to tell you what happened with DEI. You went too far. We already have laws on the books that says you can't discriminate against people based on their race, gender, creed, and that kind of stuff. That's already on the books. So the DEI stuff was a little unnecessary, if you ask me. And I think we as a society are getting too hung up on skin colors and race and nationality. The truth of the matter is that all of us, we can go outside right now, and everybody around us is a different type of nationality or color, and we all get along just fine. I think a lot of times the media and the powers that be like to divide us because it's easier to control us when we're fighting amongst each other. The truth of the matter is that nobody gives a shit whether you're black or white. And when it comes to the DEI stuff, basically they're cutting corners in order to have certain people have positions just to make up a quota. For example, let me read this real quick, and then I'll get my thought over here. Let me see. This doesn't mean that the Germans were weird. Hold on. But that's the thing, though. He did have concrete proof, because when it comes to the DEI, what the DEI essentially did is that it lowered the standards. That's what it essentially did, in order to have diversity. So, for example, if there's going to be certain situations and certain industries where if you hire the best of the best, they might all be white. Because it might be a particular industry where more white people might be interested in doing that is not so interesting for black people or for Hispanics. So what DEI does is the best of the best happen to be all white. And I'm just using white as an example because that's the easiest race for people to hate on. But it could be anything else. You can have an industry you can have a technology industry, right? You're dealing in tech and you hire the best of the best, and it just so happens that the best of the best might be Indians. So now you have a workforce of one race. So another race is going to feel discriminated against. They're going to feel like, damn, bro, why is everybody white? Well, how come you don't got no Hispanics? How come you ain't got no Chinese, no black people here? And then you create DEI. I understand why they would create DEI, because I see it, I can understand it, but what happens is they went too far. See, everything in life, if you do too much of it, is bad. Like water is great. Water is amazing, but if you drink too much of it, it can harm you. It can drown you inside, actually. It can kill you. Just like drinking beer. Hey, drinking a beer too, perfectly fine. You drink 25 beers, that's not so bueno, now is it? And that's what happens with things like DEI. Y'all went too far. Y'all went too far in order to meet certain quotas. Traffic control, for example, is not an easy job. And that's not a job that a lot of minorities want to do anyways. See what I'm saying? So if you have a whole bunch of white people that are qualified that want to do that kind of work, but you want to have representation of other races, and you have a couple of black folks, a couple of Latinos that want the job, but they're not as qualified because that's not the type of job that they would want to do anyways. But it just so happens that those people are outliers that want to do it. So now you're going to take that one white guy that was qualified, like super qualified, and you're going to go ahead and put in a Hispanic or a black guy that wasn't that qualified, just so that the entire place is not full of white people. And that diminishes the quality. So I understand the need for, I understand that it's useful in some cases, but we take it a little too far. And when you take it a little too far, it becomes too much. And when it becomes too much, then obviously bad things can happen from it, because now you're not putting the best of the best, because you have to have a lesbian in there. You have to have a he, she in there. But they may not be as qualified, but because you have 50 people, and out of the 50 people, you have no gays, and you ain't got no transgender, but you got to hire a couple of them, make sure you meet the quota, and things are going to get affected by that. So let me see. He was sued for not renting to minorities. Oh my God, listen. You talking about back in the 80s? That wasn't even the case, bro. He had a luxury building that he bought a building. Okay, Trump bought a big ass building, and there was a lot of, and he knew that he could make a hell of a lot more money if he turned it into luxury condos. And there was a whole bunch of lower income folks that were in there, and he wanted to turn it into a luxury apartment. So that's what that was. Secondly, I don't know if you know, and I don't know if a lot of you guys don't know, but the Trump's daddy, he specialized in building like public housing. That's where they got their start. Trump just so happens that he wanted to go over to Manhattan and deal with the big dogs, but his daddy used to build low income homes because he leveraged the government and whatnot. But you're talking about back in the 80s, man. I ain't even worried about that kind of shit. That's even if it is true, who cares? That was so long ago. People change. I'm not even worried about that one. 1 minute he's for abortion. He was recording saying it, and then because he wanted Christian support, all of a sudden he is a Christian. Actually, you know what? When it comes to the abortion, that's not the reason why he changed his mind. He changed his mind because of I think it was a friend of his. He used to be pro-abortion, 100%. But then something happened with a friend of theirs that they didn't want to have a kid, and then they wanted to have an abortion, but they ended up not having an abortion. And then that kid ended up growing up to be like a very successful person, and that changed his mind. So, and when it comes to abortion, I can care less. You want to kill your unborn baby, that's up to you. That's on you. I got nothing to do with me. Let me see. How does Christian say he will grab women by the pussy? He did not say he will grab women by the pussy. Me sagurto. That is not what he said. He said, and I like it that you ask that you say those things, because these are a lot of misconceptions. If you watch the video, when he was talking shit in the car with the other guy, right? The topic was that I'm so rich, right? Because the guy, I forgot what the guy from I forgot what the name of the company was. She was gonna get interviewed by some pretty journalists, and they were having banter. Right, they were going back and forth talking shit, right? And the other guy was kind of like telling him, "Hey, man, I bet you can't get, you can't get with her." Kind of egging him on, and he says to him, basically, "I'm so rich that they let me just, if I wanted to, I can just grab him by the pussy because they would let him." In other words, he doesn't have to kick it to you. Women just throw themselves at him because he's a multi-millionaire. And we know that's true. You know women be floozy like that. You know women, you know what I'm saying? Ain't y'all seen that meme? I want a man, 6 foot, finance. Right? Isn't that that meme? When it comes to women, man, you got a little bit of cheddar, you got a little bit of money, all of a sudden you're Brad Pitt. You got a little bit of money, you're Brad Pitt. So that whole thing that Trump said, grab him by the pussy, that was locker talk. That was locker talk, and if you watch the whole thing, he didn't say he just grabs him by the pussy. He basically said that women essentially would let him grab him by the pussy if he wanted to because he's that rich. You know what I'm saying? And if you know anything about Trump and you followed him for decades like I have, that he was the man. And he dated a couple of black girls too. But Trump was like Tony Starks. That's what he was back in the days. He was like Tony Starks. He was a big Willie. Let me see what else you saying over here. They never asked They never ask your sexual orientation on applications, so how is that even a thing? hmm you don't have to ask people for the sexual orientation, bro. Some people you can just talk and you can already know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's very easy to know that you're gay. If you're a dude, it's extremely easy. If you're a girl, with a girl's a little harder to tell whether you're gay or not. But when it comes to the dudes, you can 100% tell. That's that. You don't even gotta ask questions. The moment you go, hello, we already know. You don't gotta put it in nowhere. Let me see. He was given everything by his rich father. Another lie he built. He said he started from the bottom. He also never paid contracts, including some architects I personally know. It was recorded saying grabbing women by the pussy. He thought no one was listening. That's right. Man, banter or not, he still said, that's right. Listen, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not here to defend the man as a human being. I ain't never gonna do that. And another thing is, like they say, he without sin cast the first stone. I know damn well each and every single one of us have done some shit that you don't want other people to know. We've all said some stuff that we probably should have not said. Ain't none of us here angels. We're not angels. Politicians definitely ain't angels. You don't become a billionaire if you ain't cracking a couple of eggs. So now if you're looking for a messiah to be your president, then you got something else coming. No such person exists. No such person exists at all. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what you're saying. He went bankrupt with all money he was given by his father. Oh, wait, that's not why he went bankrupt. Okay, all right, listen. What you're doing right there, you're spilling, you're saying a whole bunch of shit that don't really matter. And a lot of it is is lies. Well, I wouldn't even say is lie. So it's a little stretch. He's gone bankrupt. His businesses has gone bankrupt because when you're a businessman, not every single business you create is good. And he definitely failed because he was trying to build a parking lot. He had one of those casinos over there when there was a big boom in Jersey over there with the casinos in Atlantic City. Everybody was buying casinos back then. And there was a particular little old lady that had a house next to one of his casinos that he needed in order to build a parking lot. Well, the woman never sold. He was unable to make his parking lot. Therefore, his business didn't work out. But that's okay. You don't become a multi-billionaire by not failing from time to time. So the whole thing like, oh my God, he was a horrible businessman. No, he's had some business ventures that work and others that didn't. That's part of doing business. Not every single business person is successful at every single business that they try. The man's bread and butter is real estate, always has been real estate. He's the king of real estate. That's his bread and butter. Now, if he decides that he wants to dabble in selling steaks and that business venture fails, then okay. His bread and butter is and always has been real estate. His daddy used to build like I said before, his daddy used to work. He built the hood basically. His daddy built the hood. And his daddy gave him $1 million loan because he wanted to go up to Manhattan and he wanted to build over there. He wanted to buy one of them, skyscrapers and whatnot. And that's where you get that whole shit about those people there in Section 8 that he wanted to get rid of because he wanted to turn into a luxury apartment. There's a lot to this shit, man. This man, you got to understand, right? You got to understand, Mr. Agurto. Donald Trump has been around for fucking decades. I'm 45 years old. When I was about 5 years old or so, Donald Trump came up with a board game similar to Monopoly. That was back in the days. That was 40 fucking years ago. 40 years ago, he came out with a Monopoly game. Monopoly still exists, but the Donald Trump game doesn't exist anymore. So that was a business venture that he failed on. Also, in case you didn't know, there was a company back in the days that they kind of turned it into like a multi-level marketing company, but it was basically a house phone that had a camera. So kind of like when we do FaceTime. But it was actually like a house camera, and this was before cell phones ever even existed. So Donald Trump was involved in that business, and they turned it into a multi-level marketing business. But basically, he invested in that. So it was basically a house phone that had FaceTime. And then like 2-3 years later, they invented the cell phone and FaceTime. So obviously that business venture failed. So you have to understand, the man's been around for an extremely long time. And if you think that a person that's been around for that long is an angel, or it's not gonna make mistakes, it's not gonna say dumb shit, it's not gonna do dumb shit, then you don't understand human nature. Because when I was 25, there's a lot of things that I did back then that I wouldn't dare do today. Why? Because as you get older, you become mature. As you get older, you start to develop wisdom. You start seeing a lot of the consequences of certain actions because you've lived through them. What seemed like a good idea when you were 25, all of a sudden at 45, it just doesn't seem like that good of an idea. So when you're talking about a person like Trump or just any leader at all, you can't focus on something that he did or said fucking 50 years ago. That doesn't make any logical sense. People change. You know what I'm saying? There was a point, I'll put it to you this way. Since we want to talk about stuff that the things that people said or did, 50 years ago. There was one point in my life, I would say when I was like 18, between like I would say like between 16 and 18 or whatever. I was a Bible thumper. Yeah, I was hallelujahs all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I'll be out there knocking on your door. Hey, you know Jesus loves you? And we used to pass out what you call in Spanish, los tratados. You know what the tratados are? Them little booklets trying to convert you to Christianity. I did that. I don't do that now. You know, people change. People do certain things. Let me see. Fundamental racism doesn't because it comes from your house and is your building block. Listen, we're all racist. Everybody got a little bit of racism. Just depends on the situation and when. You ain't gonna sit here, so here gordo, and you gonna tell me that you ain't never been a little racist? Come on. Marco Rubio. He has one of the most important positions in government. Secretary of State. That's a very powerful position. What nationality is Marco Rubio? Oh yeah, he's Cuban. What a racist bastard, huh? Why would a racist select a Cuban to be in one of the most powerful positions in government? Tulsi Gabbard. She's going to be the new CIA director. Oh shit, she's Hawaiian. She's from Hawaii. Why would a racist hire a Hawaiian to run our most darkest secrets? Kash Patel. Kash Patel is from the FBI director. He's a Indian. Oh, namaste. I'm going to be running the FBI. They're all puppets. You see, they know. You see, you got to understand. A lot of people, people see things through this prism of race and this and that. And the truth of the matter, that people that are successful, and people that are not racist, they really don't give a shit about your color. Can you do the job? Can you do the job? Trump had what was it? Mimosa? What was her name? Mega Rosa? The fuck was her name? That black chick from The Apprentice? Mimosa? Whatever. She was like his right hand person for a little while there. She was black as hell. Trump used to date some black girl. Jesse Jackson, I don't know if you know who he is. Jesse Jackson gave him an award back in the days. He was friends with Muhammad Ali. If I'm not mistaken, he talked very highly of Nelson Mandela. You know who Nelson Mandela is, right? President of South Africa back in the days that put him in prison. Mike Tyson loves him some Trump because Trump took care of him. Trump said nice things about him. Trump defended him when it came to those I guess YouTube doesn't like the actual word, but you know, the rape charges that Mike Tyson had. The only person that kind of came to his defense was Donald Trump. Now, if you're a racist, why would you defend Mike Tyson? You know what I'm saying? I think if you're gonna criticize a man, if you're gonna say bad things about him, let's do it with like let's have like legitimate reasons to hate him, right? Like maybe he passed a law, like he forced people to pass a certain law, and that law affected you negatively. Then okay, let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? What law did he pass that affected your life? And then maybe you can dislike him for that. But again, if you're looking for a savior, if you're looking for a messiah, if you're looking for like a squeaky clean human being to be the world leader, that's an impossible ask. That's an impossible ask. You're never gonna find a perfect person to run anything. Let me see what else. Because they are both rapists, so they are the same. He's not a rapist. I'm down to find out how old you are. I'm down to find out how old you are because Trump's a pimp. Trump was a certified ladies' man back in the days. Trump, I don't know what you know about Trump, but Trump used to be the owner of Miss Universe. Yeah, he had fine pieces of ass all over the place, all day, every day. He only dates the top of the top. He's a person that, first of all, he's germophobic. Maybe you didn't know that, but this is a very well documented known thing. He doesn't like germs. All right, he's very clean. He loves gold. He's all about the gold, beautiful, beautiful palaces. He ain't raping nobody. He doesn't need to. He doesn't want to. He was a certified pimp. You got to understand, man, when you reach a certain level of fame, certain level of money. I mean, I understand that, you know, people like P. Diddy and stuff like that and Bill Cosby, you know, they might have done stuff like that, but he's never been like that. He ain't never raped nobody. That's actually like a really horrible thing to say about somebody. That's not true. That crazy lady that sued him, come on, that's not his type at all. At all. That lady is a certified 2. I mean, look at Melania Trump, beautiful. All his women, every single wife, every single woman he's ever dated, dime pieces. That's not the kind of person he is. Yeah, that's a little bridge too far for me. He had women he would abuse. That is well documented. Well, it depends on what abuse is. Depends what abuse is. See, times have changed. Times have changed. You see, I'm gonna tell you like Sean Connery. You know who Sean Connery is? You know, he did a joke one time. He's like, you know, sometimes you gotta give him a little slap. You know, back in the days, you know, things were a little different. You know, you gotta understand, guys. You understand now, Mr. Gurto over here. Trump is 80 on what? He's almost 80 years old, right? Or I think he's like 87 years old. Been around for a long fucking time. What was acceptable back in 1950, back in 1960, is no longer acceptable today. You know, at one point, there was have you heard of the rule of thumb? A lot of you guys, oh yeah, you know, the rule of thumb is this, the rule of thumb is this. Well, you know what that comes from? You see, back in the days, it was okay for a man to beat his wife as long as that he can beat his wife with a stick as long as the stick wasn't thicker than your thumb. That's where that rule of thumb comes from. So there was a time in our history where, you know, your woman got out of line, give a little something, and it was perfectly legal, perfectly fine. Times have changed. You know what I'm saying? So if does that mean that because it was legal back then, you're gonna do it now when it's not? If you're a law-abiding citizen, come on. Back in the day, smacking women or nah, it's not okay. Would you like your daughter to be smacked? Listen, see, that's the thing. I don't know how old you are, but judging from here, you ain't been around that long. Society has always changed. What is right today might, you know, how do I say this? What was okay back then may not be okay today. What's okay right now may not be okay 5-10 years from now. Back you should, you know, in a lot of places you get caught with weed, you're going to jail for a long time, 5, 6, 7 years. Now you smoke weed, nobody cares. It's just the way it is. You know, you're asking me, you know, would you like your daughter to be smacked or your mother to get smacked? Right now, in this time and era, no. But back then, 50, 60, 70 years, I wouldn't care because it would have been normal. It would have been part of society. The men talk, the women shut the fuck up. That's how it used to be. I'm not saying that it's okay now, but you're talking about different time periods. You know, back at one point, it was okay to sacrifice a virgin in certain parts of the world. You see, morality is subjective. What's moral to you may not be moral to me. What's moral to me may not be moral to you. So you can't look at things and sometimes you got to take yourself out of your own prism, out of your own mind. Just because you wouldn't do it doesn't mean someone else wouldn't do it. Just because you think it's wrong to do it doesn't mean someone else doesn't think it's wrong to do. For example, you know, like if you're training a dog, sometimes some people train dogs in a very compassionate way. Some people might give them a little whoop. Both ways might be effective. One person might think it's morally wrong to, you know, give them a little smack, but the other person might think it's not. You know what I'm saying, Jelly Bean? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? It's all subjective. I like to live in the now. I like to live in the now. You know what I'm saying? If we're talking about like President Trump or anything like that, I'm worried about what he's doing now, right now, tomorrow. What is he doing now? You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't care what happened 50 fucking years ago. I don't care what happened 30 years ago. People change, and even if the person doesn't change, doesn't mean anything. Like when it comes to like racism, right? You mentioned about racism and stuff like that. I don't have to like a particular race. Doesn't mean I'm gonna treat them like shit. Doesn't mean that if I own a store or if I'm a clerk at a store, I'm not gonna treat that person with kindness. I'm not gonna be like, oh, how you doing? How can I help you? What would you like to order today? Just because I don't like your particular race or your culture. Nobody has to like anybody. It's what you do that matters. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple of nationalities that I'm not very fond of. And if I were to say certain things, you would automatically say, oh my God, you're racist. I'm not racist. Every culture is different. Some people have different things that they do in their cultures. Mexicans like tacos. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Everybody's different. But it's how you treat people, is what you do that makes a difference. I don't have to like I don't have to like a race. But I gotta still treat you with respect. I gotta be, you know what I'm saying? Now, if I treated you like shit because you're of a different nationality, of different race, then that wouldn't be good. But there's nothing that says that I have to like a particular race. But not me. I like everybody. Let me see. Okay, so you're saying slavery was okay because it was normal back then. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I would have had me some slaves. I ain't even. We not even gonna argue with that. Back in the days, it was legal. That doesn't mean I gotta beat them. That doesn't mean I gotta beat them. You know what I'm saying? Just because you had a couple of slaves, you can treat. Hey, you can have a couple of slaves. They can live inside. They can live in the house rent free. You can treat them to a 9 to 5. Back in the days, I'm talking about, right? So back in the days, when that was legal, when it was the norm, I would have not even known that it would have been a bad thing, because that was the norm back then. See, you're looking at things and that it doesn't work today because there's different times, bro. We're in 2025, so obviously our mentality is a little different. We've learned from history. We see what worked and what didn't work. But if you're asking me, if I was back in 16, 17 or whatever, 1700s, and I own land, and the Portuguese came over with some boats and they had some slaves for me for sale, and I can afford to buy me a couple. You're telling me, of course I would. That was the thing to do back then. Black people had slaves. Black people sold black people. My people were slaves. Remember, I'm Puerto Rican. So I'm part African, I'm part Spaniard, and I'm part Taino Indians. So Taino Indians damn near got wiped out. They damn near went extinct. The fact that I'm here, people like me, we have that gene still in us, so we didn't really go extinct. So, you're talking to a person that a part of my genes basically went extinct. And then another part of my genes were Africans, mainly from the Congos and Cameroon. And then we part Spaniards and Portuguese. We had slaves. We brought the slaves over. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a mix. I'm a mutt. So when it comes to like you're asking me, would you have slaves and stuff like that? Probably. Because if I was back in the 1600s, I was one of the conquistadors. I was a Spaniard. You know what I'm saying? It's part of my lineage. I was probably one of them Spaniards, Portuguese. I probably went to Africa, got me some slaves, and went and sold them to America. That's part of my lineage. So that's a silly question if you ask me. Back in the days, I probably would have had me a couple. Absolutely. I'm not no saint, bro. I'm telling you that right now. It's like I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy and I'm compassionate, but I'm no angel. I'm no angel. Shit. Get me some slaves right now. Shit, I got a lot of housework to get done. Oh, that's funny. Well, yeah. I'm pretty sure I lost a subscriber on that one. Oh, well, what can you do? Guys, I do appreciate you guys coming in. Let me see. Yeah, anything else fun for me to talk about there, Mr. Guruto? Probably not. Probably say, hold on, I ain't gonna support that women beating, slave owning Puerto Rican. Oh man, yeah, I'll tell you, man. Sometimes I be thinking that I was born in the wrong time. I think I would have had fun back in the days, back in the 1700s, back in the 1600s. During the Wild Wild West. I probably would have been a gunslinger. Probably would have been out there in the seas, selling some slaves. Oh man, I cracked myself. I think I've been talking for too long. Oh man. Well, I guess Mr. Gurto has left the chat. LOL. Let me see. Let me say something. Mr. LOL. It's been a good discussion. All right. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap this bad boy up. I like to keep it to 2 hours. 1 hour, 2 hours. After that, I start to get a little neurotic. It's a good thing I like to talk. All right. Well, with that said, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. I hope that you guys can do me a quick little solid. Right quick. Hold on. Let me see how you do that. Pow. Do me a little solid, right? And subscribe. Hit that like. Hit the notification. I may or may not be on live tomorrow, but you're only gonna know if if you hit the notification bell, or if not, you can tune in. But usually Saturday nights probably around 9:00, 8, 9 o'clock, I usually get on live. I'm thinking of maybe doing it every day. Maybe. I don't know. Depends how I feel. If I keep having interesting conversation like the one that I just had, I might get motivated and do it even more. But I think that conversation lost me, Miss Agurto. I think I lost her with the whole slavery thing. But I can't say it wasn't fun. All right, ladies and gents, appreciate y'all. I'm everywhere, by the way. Facebook, fucking Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Instagram, I never really use it. Twitch. Where am I? Rumble, everywhere. Angry Rican Show. Come holla at your boy. Appreciate you. With that said, let me end this bad boy. Let's end the show. God damn it. Let's end the show. Oh shit, I'm still on here. What the fuck?